Fontainebleau. For climbers, this forest is legendary. It's where modern bouldering was born, and it's still a place that draws climbers from around the world. Some of the most iconic boulder problems find their home here, like Marie Rose, the first 6A put up in the forest, and Carnage, Fontainebleau's first 7B. These climbs are woven into the history of the sport, and they've set the tone for just how tricky Fontainebleau can be. But the real question is bouldering in Fontainebleau actually that hard? Today, I'll take you through a session here in the forest, share what makes climbing in Fontainebleau so special, and also be honest about the challenges that make it feel, well, frustrating. Let's get climbing. So here we are in the Rocher sector of Fontainebleau. We're at the tail end of summer and the high temperatures are supposed to reach over 30 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Because the conditions play such a huge part of the story when bouldering in Fontainebleau, the name of the game today is going to be finding boulders that have all-day shade and preferably pretty generous holds with some beta trickery. Behind me, I've got a perfect candidate. It's a boulder called Coup de Force and it's a 7C. Let's give it a flash go. Just by looking at this boulder, I knew right away that the challenge was going to be finding the right beta for my body type and climbing style very quickly. I was kind of unsure what to do as I pulled on for my flash go, which showed right away as I worked through this bottom section. With the flash go out of the way, I wanted to isolate what I thought would be the crux move as quickly as possible to see if it was going to be a feasible boulder problem to do in the hot conditions. And I realized that yes, it was going to be these bump moves coming off of a right-hand crimp and coming up to a poor left-hand sloper before getting up to a better hold, which gives you in compression. From here, it felt pretty chill, just making sure you trusted that right heel hook as you get into a kind of crummy right-hand pocket and getting it up to the last glory jug. I knew the top out was going to be pretty easy, so I went back down to this lower section to try to figure out the best and most efficient foot sequence for me. Physically speaking, I think this is probably one of the easier sections of the boulder problem, but it took me a handful of tries to figure out how to get my left heel hook to cam into the right place and to get my toe hooks also into the right places so it didn't feel incredibly hard on the fingers. Okay. Let's take a little hold tour of Coup de Force. Boulder starts off of these two pockets. Left hand crimp, right hand slopey crimp. You've got space for a toe hook here. Space for another toe hook here. I'm trying to use a heel hook on this crimp and turning my heel to kind of like jam it in. Slopey left hand 2-finger pocket. You can get an index finger and a thumb to pinch and take a little weight off of your tendons. Here's your first undercling that I later bump over to this one. Left hand undercling, right hand sloper, left hand crimp, poor left hand hold, left hand sloper, left hand sloper. And then we've got the glory jug there. Ooh. Ooh. I am super stoked I was able to sneak away with the send of Coup de Force. I think I did a really good job strategically picking that boulder out for a hot day climb. There were a lot of really cool holds to grab and a bunch of different beta options for climbers of all different sizes. We just changed sectors and now I'm in Gorges du Haut where I got completely shut down on this 7B+/7C 3-move crimp problem. I thought I was going to be able to box up tight into the holds, but I was completely wrong. Now, one of the coolest parts about bouldering in Fontainebleau is that there's just a sheer amount of boulders to choose from. So if you get shut down on one boulder, there's probably something beautiful to climb right nearby. I found this really neat, typical Fontainebleau-esque 7A behind me that goes up this arete with just the typical Fontainebleau ripples and the rock textures, and I think this thing's going to give me a run for my money. That's really, really hard. I can't figure out how to get my heel up. Oh, that was a sufferfest, but just look at these gorgeous holds. I wanted to try this boulder because of just this amazing rock texture going up the arete. My version is the sand start version to a sit start that gets an 8A. I'm trying to use this as a left hand to start, and then I've got this crimp as a right hand start hold. Now in Fontainebleau style, the feet are basically non-existent. You have this like starting foot jib here, but as you work your way up, this foot jib is just an adherence foot. And as you saw me flailing and beach wailing on that top out, the higher you go, there are no glory jugs on this one. This is a pure slopey Fontainebleau style top out. Baby. Oh, I am so glad that I didn't beef it off of that top hold. I was just pulling as hard as I could on those slopers and I had like no chalk left. I was like, I'm gonna eat it. And I was looking at my pad below, seeing like, I'm basically gonna fall straight to the forest floor if I go off right now. Wow. I don't think that I breathed at all during the whole climb. I don't know if it's the conditions today or if that you guys can tell that I am completely out of my style when it comes to these just like sloper arete top outs. This is a style of climbing that we're not used to doing, especially in target zone where there's a lot of crimping. I am going to be so sore tomorrow. Do I think this boulder is 5 stars? Absolutely. What you just saw happen on that beautiful 7A arete actually happened to Lucy and I a few days ago when we were climbing together in the Apremont desert sector. We'd chosen to climb out in the Apremont desert sector because we'd seen a handful of boulders on the Betty Boulder website, which is a fantastic tool if you're looking for boulders that are not height dependent or boulders that have been completed by female climbers, which is perfect for Lucy. Our objective for the session was to try a 7B plus called Théorie du Complot, which is a beautiful overhanging boulder with big moves on big holds and was perfect for hot weather.
Come on. Come on.
After we finished up giving our tries on Théorie du Complot, we couldn't resist trying this beautiful 7A just around the corner called Théorie du Teddy. Théorie du Teddy is a typical Fontainebleau style top out going through slopers with little ripples. It took us quite a few tries to figure out the correct beta and exactly which of those slopers to use on the top out to do the mantle. I think in the end I ended up using the same amount of tries to do Théorie du Complot as the 7A Théorie du Teddy.
Come on. Come on. Nice. Come on. Nice one.
And the grading confusion in the session didn't end there. After we both got the team send on Théorie du Teddy, we hiked down the hill to the Dévers boulder that has a handful of just beautiful climbs, climbing these amazing features, including a sandstone tufa, which isn't something you see every day. This was a really cool boulder to climb on together. I was able to work out the beta to a 7C with a very physical first move, and then a little bit of beta trickery with toe hooks and a heel hook. Lucy was also able to do the stand start version, which gets to a 7A on her second try.
Venga, bien. Bien. Venga, va que sí. Bien, tranqui aquí. Eso. Y el talón con cuidado. Fuerte el talón, fuerte. Arriba. Más, más, más. Eso. Bien. Detrás es buena. Perfecto. Ahora coge invertido. En invertido y pon los pies a la derecha. Y te levantas. Con cuidadín. Muy bien. ¡Saluda al público!
Now, if you're really hungry for a slice of humble pie, go give a few tries at some of the problems found on these circuits in the old school sectors near Bas Cuvier. Nothing like a couple of Font 5s to get the blood flowing. If I'm not mistaken correctly, this thing is black number 25. It is a 7B and it is an old school circuit problem. A lot of these boulders in Fontainebleau that are on the circuits will have an arrow, which you can see here. This is a black painted arrow. And then this one is numbered 25. When bouldering in Fontainebleau, I think a lot of climbers completely overlook these old school circuit problems because they are nails, they're cryptic, and there aren't millions of videos of them. But just look at this thing. How can you not want to climb it? I have no idea. I am completely shut down on this 6B. If that isn't bouldering in Fontainebleau for you, I don't know what is. Remember that question from earlier, is bouldering in Fontainebleau actually that hard? Well, yes and no. Even on my very first trip to Font back in 2015, when I was just starting to do my very first couple of 7As, I was able to find a 7A here in the forest that suited my style. If you go looking for it, the perfect boulder is just waiting for you. But to be a true bluesard, well, that's gonna take a little bit more time. Come to Font with a positive attitude, be ready to learn, and get excited to explore all of the amazing climbing this forest has to offer. And if you get rained out, well, there's a French pastry for that. We'll see you guys in the next video.